Fight fans all over the world, it's Daddy P with Slap Pappy Gorilla. What? Tim Tszyu and Toney Harrison. Listen, the press conference has taken place, and this press conference was it wasn't at all hostile. It was the kickoff, but it wasn't at all hostile. It was a little candid on the part of Toney Harrison. He kind of made light of some things, and I think he's excited is the reason why. But Tim Tszyu is trying to stay focused, lasered in on what's going to happen on the night of the fight. I believe that takes place on March 12th. Yeah, March 12th. It's on a Sunday, but it's in Australia, so I gotta check that out. I gotta make sure how that's gonna work out for us in America, because their time is a lot different than ours. But yeah, March 12th is the time that is slated to happen. Tim Tszyu, y'all know he's the son of a very famous Aussie from back in the day, Costa Tszyu. And he got another brother too. I think his name is Nikita, that fights as well. But Tim Tszyu, 5'8.5". I've seen some places where he's listed as being 5'9". But he's 21-0. He, compared to Toney Harrison, he does not have the experience, and he's been kind of brought along. Sometimes when these guys are legends, their offspring are brought along a little bit in the sport, and and really this is what this, to me, especially from the standpoint of Australia, this is what this has been built up to be a fight, really, for Jermell Charlo. It was supposed to be a built-up fight, and his son was going to get an opportunity to fight him, for that Undisputed at 154, because Jermell Charlo is the 154-pound king. Listen, Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight him, but he broke his hand, I guess, in training, Jermell Charlo. So Toney Harrison say, hey man, I'll be your huckleberry, I'll oblige. And Tim Tszyu accepted. Now the thing about this is, man, if you slated to fight one of the top guys for all the marbles at 154, you are the son of a legend. Your career has been, you've been kind of brought along, honestly. Man, why in the world would you fight a guy the caliber of Toney Harrison? I think they look like they see something they can exploit, but this is a very dangerous fight for somebody who's looking to fight for Undisputed. They could have got somebody that was, I don't know who you'll get, though, at 154. That whole division is pretty dangerous when you're talking about looking for somebody who has experience. But Toney Harrison definitely has the experience. He is 29-3 with 21 KOs. He is 6'1" with a 76.5 arm reach. Listen, that's compared to a 72.5 arm reach from Tim Tszyu. Now, Toney Harrison, man, he has an all-around game. He is a boxer. He does have a little pop on his punch. He's not like some big KO artist or nothing, no. But, out of 29 fights, he do have 21 KOs. This guy has some pop on his punch, though. He really does have some. He can keep a fighter honest. He can do that. And with that 6'1" frame at 154, man, he can use it to his advantage when he wants to. He can control distance. He has an all-around boxing game. When he stays focused, Toney Harrison is not the average boxer, man. Toney Harrison knows the tricks of the trade. He is what you would call a slick American. I mean, that African-American style boxer. You know, he is that. And he know the tricks of the trade. And he has that grinded out mentality. He's fought, you know, some names, you know, and he's fought Jermell Charlo twice, you know. So his Tim Tszyu, his resume pales in comparison to Toney Harrison, you know. Now the thing with this is, you know, they was at the press conference. Toney Harrison, he did allude to the fact that, hey man, we need to call HR on this one. He say, man, when you supposed to be fighting the top guy in the division who's for all the marbles, why would you fight somebody like me? But he did thank him. He say, hey man, I thank you for this opportunity, because he sees this as an opportunity to get another crack at fighting Jermell Charlo. He beat Charlo once in 2018, Toney Harrison. He beat Jermell Charlo, but he did lose to Jermell Charlo by knockout in 2019. And, it's 1-1. So, I mean, he looking for a tiebreaker fight, and a lot of people might not want to see that. But for the 154-pound division, I mean, what else do you want to see, Because, I mean, honestly, Jermell Charlo has accomplished everything that a person would set out to accomplish in a weight class. He's basically cleaned the division out. He's fought all of the guys that are names, really. I mean, it's a couple guys he probably ain't fight, but, I mean, he fought the people that were there to fight, and he beat them, and he's still the last one standing. Like I said, he did lose by decision to Toney Harrison in 2018. Charlo did. But, he came back and avenged his loss with a knockout. So a lot of people feel like that deal is settled. He won by knockout. Although Toney Harrison he was boxing really pretty decently until he got knocked out. And he did get dropped earlier in that fight, I believe. He did get dropped earlier, but he made a mistake. And the last time he got dropped, he got wobbled and he dropped him and he got up and he just couldn't, get it together. It wasn't really, to me, it wasn't a premature stoppage because, man, Toney Harrison was in bad shape. His legs was in bad shape. He was on the way to getting hurt by Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo can't finish, so it wasn't gonna be a bed of roses. But Toney Harrison was ready to keep going though. He kind of pleaded with the ref a little bit, but it was all over when it was all over. Toney Harrison got knocked out, and a lot of people saw that as, man, look, the chapter in Jermell Charlo's career is done when it comes to Toney Harrison. But there is some people that do want to see that fight again, I guess. I've heard some people on different platforms talking about it. But, I mean, whatever the case may be, it would be a good fight for the division. I mean, who else in the division would you want Charlo to fight if he's going to keep fighting at 154? To me, Charlo has earned the right to move up to 60. I know his brother's there. His brother probably, best fights for his brother probably at 68, Demetrius Andrade moved up to 68. He's been talking about Jermell Charlo, I'm speaking of now. Jermell Charlo has spoke of fighting, 168-pound fighters, He talked about, y'all know the story, man. Y'all know the story. He has talked about Benavidez, fighting Benavidez, so I don't know if that fight actually happens. It would be a good fight. But to me, that talk of fighting 168-pound fighters, it looks like he may be coming into moving up. That would leave a place for Jermell Charlo to move to 160 without running into his brother. So he's accomplished everything that a fighter would want to accomplish in the weight class, though. So, but Toney Harrison really does see this fight as, hey, I can get another crack at Jermell Charlo. This would be a good excuse as any, as the best excuse possible to give to fight him is, hey, you're supposed to fight Tim Tszyu. I beat Tim Tszyu. Let's get it on. But the thing with Toney Harrison, man, is, to me, it's kind of inactivity. You know, he did fight 3 times in 18. Like I said, he did win against Charlo, but then he lost in 19. He fought once in 2019. He didn't fight at all in 2020. He fought once in 21, once in 22. Y'all know COVID kind of went through the sport, and I ain't gonna say went through the sport, but it just, you know, COVID-19 kind of crippled a lot of fighters to where, you know, they didn't fight as much as they would have fought, you know, if COVID hadn't come through. And a lot of fighters didn't want to fight in that bubble, you know, when they had people doing all that stuff, bending over backwards and testing all these times and fighting in that bubble, you know, with no crowd. But Tim Tszyu, on the other hand, he fought 3 times in 2021. And those 3 times seen him knock out 2 guys in Steve Spark and Dennis Hogan. He knocked out Jeff Horn in 2020. Now, Jeff Horn had been knocked out by Terrence Crawford and knocked out by another guy. I can't remember his name, Rafa or whatever. But, you know, he did knock out Jeff Horn in 2020. I mean, that's a good fight for him. You know, Jeff Horn is a former champion. A lot of people say they didn't believe that he beat Manny Pacquiao. Honestly, I'm one of them that I didn't think Jeff Horn won that fight. But what I can give Jeff Horn is, with a legend like Manny Pacquiao, Pacquiao let him stay in the fight. And what I mean by that is he made a case for himself by winning some rounds, you know. And Pacquiao could have got him out of there. I think that was like the 9th round when they fought. He had Jeff Horn in a little trouble. He didn't press the gas enough to get him out of there. And the young man came back the next round with, you know, life and exuberance. And I think that's what won him the fight, you know. After he got knocked down in 1 round or whatever, he was hurt bad. I can't remember how it went. But a lot of people say when he came, that next round, he came back and he turned himself around, you know, to fight around. But Jeff Horn, no matter who thinks he won against Pacquiao or not, he is a former champion. He did get knocked out, like I say, by Terrence Crawford. And that pretty much was downhill from there, you know. I don't really hear much from Jeff Horn no more. But he's another Australian fighter, you know, that fights in that circuit. So Tim Tszyu got an opportunity to fight him, and he knocked him out. But Tim Tszyu has been, you know, he's been a little more active in the recent past years. So that may be the edge he has against Toney Harrison. And, you know, that could be an edge. But I'm going to tell you this right here, man. A focused Toney Harrison should be able to box past Tim Tszyu. And to me, though, he does not need to use the focus of fighting Jermell Charlo. He needs to get that out of his head for right now and focus on Tim Tszyu and you know, box, you know, like he knows how to do. He knows how to box. Toney Harrison does. And if he stays focused, you know, a lot of people call him a little chinny. He has 3 losses, and all 3 of those losses are by knockout, you know. He got knocked out, you know. So I think he got knocked out by Jarrett Hurd in like 17 or 18. He just got knocked out in 19 by Charlo. And he got knocked out back in like 2015. So, but, you know, yeah, he can be a little chinny. He can get hit on the button, man, and night, you know. But if he's focused, this guy really can box, and he has that experience. He has more of the names, you know. Tim Tszyu, I think probably the best name he's fought is probably Terrell Gausha, which he got dropped by Gausha, you know what I'm saying? And but he did route to win. So I don't know, man. This is a good fight this year, 2023, in that division, 154 pounds. This is as good a fight as any. And I you know, I'm looking forward to it. I really do want to see this fight. And I think it's a good fight for both guys. Toney Harrison, is a good opportunity for him, like I said, to get up on his horse and be able to fight Charlo like he been, you know, wanting to get that third fight, that 1-1, to kind of say, okay, well, I beat you the first time, you beat me the second time, but let's break the tie. But Tim Tszyu, this is a big opportunity for his career. You know, this will be the this fight will be the biggest fight so far. But if he can get past Toney Harrison, it would be probably one of the biggest fights in Australian history. If he could get that fight for Undisputed against Jermell Charlo, whether he wins or not, it's a big fight for him, you know, for his career, for his legacy, for his country. So, you know, so to me, yeah, it is a lot on the line. It's some stuff on the line with this fight, and it is a good fight for 2023. It looked like we're going to get some pretty decent fights this year. I'm excited about it. This Daddy P with Slap Happy Gorilla. Go ahead and slap that like button. Share the video. And, you know, hey, give me a like, dislike, whatever you like. But slap that like button. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time it goes down. This Daddy P.